Are you looking for a premium wireless all-in-one soundbar? Then how about the Dolby Atmos enabled Bang & Olufsen Beosound Stage? Hello everyone, it's Jonathan from Smart Home Sounds here, home audio retailer based in the UK, and today marks the first video where we'll be covering a product from Bang & Olufsen, specifically the Beosound Stage Dolby Atmos Premium Soundbar for your TV. Recently crowned T3 Magazine's Soundbar of the Year for 2020, we felt adding the Beosound Stage and the Bang & Olufsen brand to our website was a great fit as they offer the premium feel and quality that we look for. I'll pop a QR code up on the screen now, so if you want to check out the Beosound Stage, and as always, I'll link it below in the description too. Remember, we do offer a 30-day listen better promise with this product, meaning you can try the system out and return it to us for a full refund if it's not the right fit for you. So let's get started. We'll be covering all kinds of things about the Beosound Stage today, including a comparison with the Sonos Arc and Sub, a heavily requested comparison from you guys later on in the video. So I'll put timestamps to each section below, and if you're a fan of all things audio, then please consider subscribing if you haven't already so you don't miss out on our next few videos, including a look at the Bang & Olufsen A1 portable speaker. So to give you a really quick background on this soundbar, Bang & Olufsen are a Danish premium audio company dating all the way back to 1925, and you'll find a bit of Scandinavian style and flair in all of their products. They manufacture all manner of audio, and the Beosound Stage is their first proper step into the highly competitive soundbar market. And I say proper because they have had products in the past that can be used with a TV, but this is their first fully fledged all-in-one soundbar. So here are some key features to point out. So this is a premium soundbar with a price tag ranging from £1,250 all the way up to £1,700 depending on which finish you go for, so I'll come back to that in a minute. It's a Dolby Atmos enabled soundbar which is designed to offer a more immersive listening experience for both TV and music, and has four 4-inch drivers for powerful bass, eliminating the need for a separate sub. It also supports Bluetooth 4.2, AirPlay 2 and Chromecast for easy streaming. Now that's a very quick synopsis of the Beosound Stage, so let's take a closer look. It's only right that the first thing we cover in this review is the soundbar's design. So it's very distinctive and offers a modern and minimalistic finish that doesn't follow other brands' footsteps of what a conventional soundbar looks like, which I really like. Of course, appearance is down to personal preference, and I'm a big fan of this Scandinavian style design. Personally, I think the form factor suits the wall mounting best, but again, this is down to personal preference. I also particularly like the bronze colour option, which I can visualise being a great addition to a retro or minimalistic style living room. Speaking of colour choices, you also get a black colour option with the brushed silver effect on the edges, an anthracite edition and a smoked oak and grey version. Now, as I mentioned, the design you opt for is reflected in the price of the soundbar. So the black version has an RRP of £1,250, the bronze and anthracite version step up to £1,475, and the smoked oak and grey version comes with a higher price tag of £1,700. So it's a little disappointing to see that premiums are applied for different colour versions, but the reason for this is that in addition to different colours, they actually use different materials, which naturally adds to the manufacturing cost. Now the soundbar measures 110 centimetres in width, which equates to about 43 inches, so I'd recommend at least a 49-inch TV with this, so the TV is still wider than this soundbar. It's 17 centimetres in height and 7.7 centimetres deep, so I'd recommend measuring how much space you have between the bottom of the TV and the stand you have it placed on. It can be installed in two different orientations, sitting flat like this or wall mounted, and you can tell the B&O app which orientation it's in, so it can make its adjustments in the EQ to suit. The wall mount is supplied in the box, which is nice to see, as well as the drilling templates, and if you are wall mounting, the recommended distance from the bottom of the TV to the top of the soundbar is 5 centimetres. On the soundbar itself, it's nice to see that there are no old school buttons, and these touch controls sit flush on the soundbar, which maintains form and function at the same time. So you've got skip and previous, volume controls, Bluetooth pairing, and interestingly a power button. Now I say interestingly because it's actually quite rare that you find a power button on a soundbar. And I've had conversations with customers in the past where this has been quite useful because that customer doesn't necessarily always want to use the soundbar, for example when they're just watching the news. Moving on to the connections, now I really should have read the instructions because for the first minute or two I couldn't find the connections like the power port and the HDMIs and thought I was going slightly mad. But then I found this piece here, which is removable, and it's where you'll find all your important connections. So you've got your HDMI ARC port for connecting to the HDMI ARC or eARC on your TV. You've also got an additional HDMI in for connecting any external devices you have. And you've got a 3.5mm analog line in, which is a very versatile connection, which can be used for turntables, CD players, phones, laptops, the list goes on. You've got both an Ethernet in and an Ethernet out, so if you wanted to create a loop from your router to the TV, you can do that. And of course, you've got your power here too. Internally, you've got 11 drive units, which are being powered by 11 digital power amplifiers, each outputting 50 watts of power. Now, 4 of those drivers are 4-inch woofers for bass, as they claim that you don't need to add a subwoofer with this soundbar, which we will come on to a bit later. You've then got 4 1.5-inch mid-range drivers and 3 3/4-inch tweeters, and B&O claim this is a combination that could fill a room up to 60 square meters. So this is a 3-channel soundbar, so you have a dedicated center channel, front left and front right channel, and the left and right channels are actually positioned at a 45-degree angle, so you get a nice wide sound stage. As I mentioned, this is a Dolby Atmos soundbar, and you normally find that many premium soundbars that offer Atmos have dedicated sideways and upward firing drivers with the intention to bounce the sound off the walls and the ceilings. Now, Bang & Olufsen say that the problem with this is that this is very room dependent, so if you don't have a perfect shaped room for Atmos, which is very unlikely unless you are creating a bespoke cinema room, you won't get the best from the soundbar. So the Beosound Stage claims to use advanced sound processing so that you hear the full story and you're almost fooling your ears so that you can process some parts of the sound coming from the side and some from above you. Now, this sounds great in theory, and in our testing we were generally impressed with how this works, but we will comment further on this when we come onto the sound quality section. So we've moved over to where we would have the soundbar in front of the TV, so you can see that the Beosound Stage is almost like it's custom built for this particular TV, the Sony XH95, because it just about fits within the TV legs, and it just about doesn't go too far up into the bottom of the screen, so you will need to double check that with your TV to see how far it would encroach into the bottom of the screen, if anything. So to set up the soundbar, you just need to plug it into mains power and connect it to your TV, either via the HDMI cable or optical. Now, the HDMI cable is thankfully supplied in the box, which surprisingly enough we don't see all the time. You then download the B&O app on your phone or tablet, and you go through a quick setup process such as connecting to your Wi-Fi, naming the speaker and linking with Google Home. Now, the app does force you to pair with the Google Home app, and annoyingly I couldn't find a way around that, and it is a bit of a faff. I did also have some extra teething issues getting this to start working, but it did eventually work, and it did a big update which took about 10 minutes. Now, if I was comparing this setup with something like the Sonos setup, the Sonos would win in terms of simplicity and reliability, only because they have the experience with Wi-Fi based audio systems. But it does mean that they can always improve the process over time by delivering free software updates to new and existing customers. However, the most important thing is it's all working now and looks great in front of our TV. So the app is really nice and premium looking, and your home screen has a nice photo of the product and the room name. You've got the tabs at the bottom here, which does remind me a little bit of Sonos actually. On this tab here, you've got the multi-room products that you might have, so you can get the same music playing everywhere, or different rooms playing in different things. You then have the source selections, so you can you've got built-in Deezer support. What is nice is that you've got built-in tune-in radio support, so you've got all the radio stations that you could possibly want here. And if I go back to the main screen and then tap on my living room speaker, I've got an equalizer for bass and treble, and then if I go back out of that again and back into the sound settings, I've got you can set a max volume limit, you've got default volume, and then you've got loudness as well, and also you can tell the B&O app if it's going to be on a table or a shelf, so I would recommend doing that because it does make a huge difference to the EQ. Now, one feature that I really like on the B&O app is the listening modes, but not just the modes themselves, but the fact that they're automatic, so the soundbar will know if you're watching TV or a movie or streaming music, and it'll automatically adjust the mode to suit, which is really nice. On other apps, you often have to change the mode yourself, so that's definitely nice to have. So let's take a closer look at the feature set then. Now, important thing to mention is that B&O's app is mainly for setting up and tweaking the settings, so you'd be using third-party services such as Bluetooth or AirPlay 2 for day-to-day control, which is quite similar to how the Bowers & Wilkins Formation range of wireless speakers work. You do have built-in tune-in radio and Deezer support, so if you're a Deezer Elite subscriber, you'll really get the most from the soundbar as it supports high-res too, so that's a big thumbs up. I'm sure B&O will look to add more and more services to the app over time, so you can use the app as more of a fully integrated app. So just to list the methods of control you have, you've got Bluetooth 4.2, which is not the most recent standard of Bluetooth, unfortunately, but still perfectly reliable. AirPlay 2 for Apple users, and Google Chromecast, which is a great added bonus. There's no built-in voice control though, and we would have liked to have seen Spotify Connect as well added to that list of connectivity. So moving on to the sound quality then. So in a nutshell, there's really plenty of power there to please most people. You've got a really wide soundstage thanks to the width of the product and the sound processing of the soundbar. Atmos was particularly memorable and really accurate, and you could hear sound coming at you from many different angles. Vocals were really rich and clear, and we were a bit worried that there was no speech enhancement setting on the app, but you certainly don't need it, especially when you're in TV or movie mode. It also did a great job of detailing the slightest of nuances, which is normally missed on cheaper soundbars. The bass is really nice and clean, and it did offer better bass response than other soundbars that we've tested. And we did feel that bass sounded slightly deeper when listening to music. And personally, I wouldn't want to add a sub to this when listening to music. When watching movies, the bass was very good indeed actually, but personally, to achieve the full cinematic experience, I prefer adding a dedicated subwoofer, which gives you the kind of bass that you feel in your chest. So how do we compare it then to the Sonos Arc and Sub for £1,498? So we've chosen to compare it with the Sonos Sub added to the Arc because they are then comparable price points. I think they both process Atmos well, and they both sound fantastic for movies and music. The key difference is in the bass and sound that you can really feel, and that's coming from that separate sub. I would also say that the Sonos app is a bit more refined because Sonos have the experience when it comes to designing multi-room systems, and there's also plenty of other streaming services built into the Sonos app. You don't get Bluetooth or Chromecast with Sonos, however, so if these are important for you, then you'll want to look at the B&O. Sonos also don't support high-res yet, but they might have already added that depending on when you're watching this video. So if you pay more to have a high-res music service, Bang & Olufsen can accommodate that for you. And finally, Sonos has native voice control for both Amazon Alexa and Google Assistant. So if that's important to you, Sonos does do this really well. So on to the advantages and disadvantages of the B&O Beosound Stage. So the first advantage I have is that it has one of my favorite styling that I've seen in the soundbar. It's got a great feature set, and it's a good option for people who want the best possible surround sound from one product, and you don't want to run wires or have more than one sort of box in your living room. The only other product that I can think of that perhaps does this better is the Sennheiser Ambeo, but that is another £1,000 on top of this price, so you'd need to throw more money at it to unlock a better bass output and surround sound. The disadvantages are that only the black version is available at the lower £1,250 price point. It's missing built-in voice control, and I think the app, in terms of both the setup and usability, could be improved. The verdict then is that while the price of £1,250 can get you other very capable soundbars and even wired systems, this is for a specific customer who wants an elegant finish in their living room, but also wants to take advantage of some great features like Atmos, AirPlay 2 and high-res streaming. It's not a replacement to a proper hi-fi surround system, but doesn't try to be either, and we were generally very impressed with the overall package of the product and believe customers will see genuine value in this soundbar. If you think the B&O Beosound Stage is the right soundbar for you, then head over to our website using the link in the description below or the QR code right here to find out more about it. Now, as always, if you have any other questions you'd like to ask us, pop them in the comments below or get in contact with us directly. We're always happy to chat, and our customer service team can offer some more personal advice for you in your home. Thanks for watching, and I'll hopefully see you on our next video.